Max Holloway, big news. Khamzat next opponent and massive heavyweight implications. Wrong word, but we're talking about a lot today. We got a shit ton of news to talk about. Nothing like crazy style, but I want to start off with some Khamzat hatred, all right? We're going to get to his next fight in a bit, but we're going to start off with some Khamzat hatred. A lot of glazing going on recently over Khamzat Chimaev, especially after his extremely dominant win over Dricus du Plessis this Saturday. I mean, it blew him out of the water. It wasn't even close. 50-41 on Dana White's scorecard. Phenomenal performance. I do want to touch on these things. And I have a quote from Demetrius Johnson here as well. But we're going to start Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz both saying some words. Nate Diaz saying he can't fight. That's the most Nate Diaz shit ever. I just want to bring this up. DJ says, if you guys don't want to watch grappling and wrestling and jiu-jitsu, don't watch UFC. He's gone into it further. This is kind of not the most context. He's basically saying, like, what most Dagestani glazers will say, just watch kickboxing, bro. No. And I'll tell you why. And I also have beef with Ariel Helwani because of this. Ariel, like, I was listening to the show. He was saying, like, oh, I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. You're in your edge of your seat for the whole 25 minutes while Khamzat holds Dricus du Plessis in crucifix position and does little tappy shots. I saw someone in a comment section somewhere, and I apologize. I can't say a name. I don't know who said it. But someone said that those shots wouldn't even mash potatoes. That's the most true thing I've ever heard. His little tippy-tappy shots are not doing shit, and he's just holding him in crucifix position for 3.5 minutes around. Shit was boring, dude. I like watching grappling. I watch UFC BJJ. I like watching Chase Hooper. I like watching Clay Guida. I like watching intense grappling, heavy grappling, movement grappling, grappling that people are advancing their position and trying to finish fights through grappling. I like watching DJ grapple, for fuck's sake. I don't like watching, and I'm going to be honest, I was a little intoxicated, so I didn't really have that big of a problem with it watching it live. But thinking about it after the fact, this fight was not fun. And a lot of people are saying this was the worst main event of the year. And I think I agree with that. I agree with that sentiment. It was not a good main event. It wasn't a good fight. Khamzat looked dominant as shit and very, very good, but it was boring. And I don't care who you are, bro. Listen, I don't like the argument, and Ariel was talking about this as well, that people are saying, oh, Khamzat's boring. I don't think Khamzat is a boring fighter. He had a boring performance. It's okay. We can admit that. I don't think anyone's arguing that Khamzat himself is a boring fighter. This dude finishes every fucking fight in the first round. But he had a boring as shit performance. We can all, like, I don't understand. In what world are you living where that was not boring? How are you gaslighting yourself into believing that this was like, oh, so exciting? Edge of my seat? There was one moment that, the gamer lock-in thing that we all did when Renato Moicano knocked down Islam Makhachev, that lean forward lock-in. That was the only exciting point, and it was in the final round when Dricus turned back around on Khamzat and almost finished him with a neck crank. But he decided to let go of that neck crank because I think Dricus didn't want to be champion anymore. That's the only reason I can think of. Why did he let go of the neck crank? Bro, there's like 10 seconds left in the fight. You're not getting a ground and pound victory. You're not getting a rear naked choke against Khamzat. Just go for the neck crank, dude. Try and push in his teeth like Bobby Knuckles. It was a shit boring performance. And I don't hate the card. The card was amazing. 2 spinning back elbows. I seen someone say we paid for it. We absolutely should expect more than a hugging competition. Listen, again, this is like, it feels like it's so derogatory toward wrestling. And again, I don't hate grappling. I don't hate wrestling. I like watching fun grappling exchanges. A Figueiredo versus Brandon Moreno. Are you kidding me? More of that, please. I want to see a fifth fight. I don't want to watch Khamzat Chimaev put Dricus du Plessis in the crucifix position and do nothing with it for 3.5 minutes, and then they start on the feet and he gets taken down again, and then like Dricus is like on his knees in the corner. This is the most Dricus fucking position of all time. Oh, he's on both of his knees, not attempting to get up. And then when he does attempt to get up, like when he's on his knees, he's getting kneed in the stomach and in the hip, and then he attempts to get up, and now he's getting kneed in the thigh. It's not doing anything. It was not a good performance. Sorry. It was a very good performance. It was just boring. It was just boring. We can, like, I don't know, MMA fans, when fighters start mixing the martial arts. When did he mix them? When did he mix the martial arts? All he did was wrestle. There was no mixing happening. 6 seconds into the round, he would shoot a takedown and then just hold Dricus there for the rest of the fucking round. For the next 4 minutes and 55 seconds. Where was he mixing the martial arts? John Cush MMA? He was not mixing the martial arts. My fucking hood is falling because I'm so angry. Dricus did not mix the martial arts. Sorry. Khamzat did not mix the martial arts. He just wrestle-fucked him. That's it. No, nobody was excited watching this. I had Khamzat to win this fight. I wanted him to win. I had this fight to go over 2.5 rounds on one of my parlays. It was just boring as fuck, though. We can admit that, can't we? Can we not admit that it was boring, dude? It was not a fun watch. I just knocked over my cart. Anyways, it was so boring. It was so boring. It was so boring. Like, it wasn't, I don't think it was the worst main event ever. We've had significantly worse. Namajunas Esparza 2. And at no point was I, like, on my phone for a minute or more. Like I am in some fights. I will admit it. There's some fights where I'm on my phone for a minute or two because they're shit boring. Like, I maybe was on my phone for like 30 seconds in the entire 25 minutes. But it doesn't mean that the fight was not boring. That's all I'm saying. It was a boring fucking fight. We can admit it. Khamzat Chimaev is very boring, but my videos aren't. If you were entertained by my little rant, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button, as it does really support my channel. Hit the comments as well. We had some activity on Saturday in the comments, all right? It was a good one. It was fun, bro. I'll continue to argue with you guys. I don't mind. Hit that subscribe button. I post these type of videos, news videos, once a week. I post prediction videos once a week. Back to the video. Who's this new guy? Next story, we've got a couple signings here. This is not to the UFC, but Olympic champion Gable Steveson. He won gold medalist in 2020 in freestyle wrestling at heavyweight. He's making his MMA debut at LFA 217 on September 12th. I don't know. I'd be I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued to see where he goes, like how he fights in MMA, because I don't want to see him Torres Finney people. That's my worry about American wrestlers that are very good getting into MMA, getting into the UFC. I don't want you to be boring. And you're fighting on regional scene. Most of your opponents are going to be dog shit, especially at heavyweight. I think he'll probably score a few knockouts. Like, he'll take down and TKO somebody very brutal fashion, like lots of blood, I'm sure. UFC is going to sign him in like 4 fights, maybe. Could be less. He's a big name already. I don't know, dude. I just feel like he has the potential to be boring as fuck. And the heavyweight division is already not the best. So we'll have to see how it goes. My dream, I guess, for him is just take people down and punch them in the head. I don't want to see you put on an amazing wrestling performance, punch them in the head, bro. You're not winning on points. Well, you are winning on points, but nobody wants to see that unless you're a Khamzat Glazer. Another new signing, UFC signing this time, Luke Riley. No idea who the fuck that is, but he's a Scouser, lad. He's coming over from Liverpool. Probably trains with Paddock. Right, lad? So, I'm coming over to the UFC. Before a Cage Warriors, lad. Now I'm going to the UFC and 11-0 undefeated prospect. Anyways, he's going to the UFC. We'll see how he does. You may have remembered my video, my Saturday video, when I was breaking down the Carlos Prates fight. I had touched on the horrible discipline of Brian Battle. And Brian Battle, former welterweight, winner of the Ultimate Fighter, by the way. Season 29, he won. Was doing decently in the UFC. He's got his very viral clip over Kevin Jousset, where he knocks him out and he, in Paris, France, gets on the mic and goes, I know you didn't think the Butcher was going to lose to a French dude in a fist fight. I think that's what he said. I can't remember exactly. Very viral clip. The whole crowd is booing him. The translator for the crowd was like pissed off that he said that. It was very funny. Robbed the fuck out of Randy Brown in his last fight at 170. Now, this is what I want to say. Fought at 170 in his last fight. Missed weight. Still fought. Fought Randy Brown. Robbed him. Very robbery. So they tell him, listen, Brian, we can't have you continue fighting at 170. All right? You're missing weight too much. And he says, okay, guys, I'll fight at 185. 15 pounds heavier. Shows up on Friday for the weigh-ins to fight on Saturday. He was supposed to fight on Saturday. UFC 319. Shows up, misses weight, weighs 190. Supposed to weigh 185 with a 1 pound allowance. He weighs 190. So he has been released from the UFC. 2 weight misses in a row. Did it to himself, bro. It's not like you were ass. You were getting wins. You're a decent fighter. The Angelusa clip where you... Maybe I poked him. And then he was like, no, I can't fight. And then as soon as the referee calls off the fight, Angelusa goes, oh, I can fight, actually. And starts picking a fight with Brian Battle and goes, you're a pussy. That was a good moment in UFC history. Like, Brian Battle's not a bad fighter. Brian Battle's not a horrible fighter. We have to be making weight, bro. Especially if we're moving up 15 pounds. What are we doing? Like, what did you do? What happened in the camp? I know he spoke on, again, bringing up Ariel. I watched it yesterday at work. That's why. I didn't get to that part, though, in the interview, so. I don't know why he missed weight like that so brutally, but horrible. You have to learn to actually be able to cut weight, bro. It's not that hard. Well, I'm sure it's very hard, but you know what I mean. Anyways, we got some pretty big news from Max Holloway. I guess Max Holloway's wife, Alessa, she is officially the mother of Rush Holloway. Rush Holloway was the stepson of Alessa. Max and Alessa married after Rush was born, and they officially have adopted, or Alessa has officially adopted Rush as his legal mother, which is massive, dude. I love to see something like that. I actually put a smile on my face saying this is a whole big paragraph here that I'm not going to read, but it's very, very good to see that the Holloway family is living their best lives, dude. I love it. However, Max Holloway's ex, she came out and was very upset by this. She says, for 5 years, I battled relentlessly while my name and my motherhood were dragged through the mud. Now, they boast about their cruelty, they celebrate, while I continue to lead with love. I will not lower myself to speak ill of them. I know God has my back. My family has held me together, wiped my tears, and stood by me at every court hearing while they tried to intimidate me. My friends have carried me through the months when anxiety and depression kept me shut away, unable to care for myself under the weight of it all. Throughout everything, I still send them love. I pray they care for my baby boy because she has just been handed the greatest gift she will ever receive. You're welcome. You may believe you've won, but who truly won here? Not me, not you, and certainly not our son. I stayed silent for years, never spoke of the pain, the heartbreak, the grief that consumed me. Now you know. Sorry, but I don't know what to say. She seems pretty heartbroken. I mean, I guess you would be after your son you've lost custody of your son. Not the time to do an accent. I don't know. It says in Max Holloway's statement that Rush has been asking to be adopted by Alessa, so who knows what's really going on there. I don't want to get into the nitty-gritty. I just want to bring some good news that Rush was officially adopted, and you'll have to see it. Now, we're going to get into some fights, but first I do have to bring up Sean Brady versus the Cock. Now, I don't know what to feel about this. Sean Brady, we'll play the clip, actually.
So I got a call from my manager right around International Fight Week, so at the end of June time frame, about me and Ian fighting in Chicago. I said yes. Didn't hear anything for weeks. I'm assuming the UFC moved on. Recently, they hit us up. They said me and Ian main event in Vancouver. I said yes immediately. Immediately. Yes, let's go. I've been wanting to fight since May, and these were the only ones I've been offered. Said yes twice. Now, I don't know why Ian's fucking was dragging his feet or whatever he was doing, and now they put in RDR and Fluffy. So now,
spoiler for the future of the video there. Sean Brady claims that the UFC offered him Ian Machado Garry at the end of June, International Fight Week. He accepted, and then he didn't hear anything, and then recently they called him again and said, UFC Vancouver, October 18th. He said, yes, I want that fight. Give me the main event against Ian Garry. Both times the offer was against Ian Garry. And now he's coming out and saying, well, I mean, as we heard last night, there is a new fight for the main event of UFC Vancouver. So Sean Brady, despite saying yes, is still getting passed by due to Ian Garry. Ian Garry, I guess, did not accept that fight. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. You're a bitch. You know what it is, really? I think that his wife, they got the news and he went, babe, do you think that you'd want to fuck Sean Brady? Not what he sounds like, by the way. Not what he sounds like at all. And then his wife went, what all the tattoos? She's not even fucking Irish. This is a horrible segment. I apologize. What are the tattoos? And then, what are the tattoos? And then he goes, yeah, babe, he's got the bodysuit of the Japanese bodysuit tattoos. And then she goes, oh, ma, he's disgusting. I don't know what accent we're doing here. And then Ian Garry called UFC back and went, oh, no, guys, I can't take that fight. It's just not enough time for me. I just need I'm just probably going to be in the title shot soon. I know I have 0 top 7 wins, and I just beat Carlos Prates after getting mauled by... He didn't get mauled by Shavkat, but still. What are we doing, Ian Garry? This is a perfect fight, dude. You have very high IQ. You're very smart. You're quick as fuck. I think you're a good fighter. Why are we not taking a Sean Brady fight? I know he's your perfect stylistic loss. Or I guess you're his perfect stylistic matchup because he'll just take you down and wrestle fuck you and then submit you. But you got to play the game. You know what I mean? Win some, lose some, dude. Oh, you lost to Sean Brady. Okay, well, Sean Brady's probably going to be champion. Let's be honest here. The way welterweight is going, I see Sean Brady. I don't know. If Islam wins, probably not. But if Islam loses, I see him beating JDM. It depends, though, dude. No, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what JDM's performance is like in the Islam fight. But I see Sean Brady potentially being champion one day. He's very, very good. Ian Garry should have taken this fight. Anyways, we move on to some fight news, official fight news. Now, this is from Kevin. For whatever reason, I couldn't find this anywhere at all. We do have it from Kevin. It is official that the main event of UFC Vancouver, instead of being Sean Brady versus Ian Garry, is Fluffy Hernandez versus RDR, Reiner Day Ritter. I like this matchmaking. I don't hate this matchmaking. I feel like we could have had like RDR versus DDP. Everyone's been talking about this. Even from before Reiner fought Robert Whittaker, everyone was talking about RDR versus DDP because they're both Dutch, both 3-letter names, and it would just be kind of goofy. They both fight very unorthodox. It would be a goofy fight. And then DDP loses his championship. I don't think RDR is ready for a championship, but having him fight DDP makes a lot of sense to me. Their timelines line up. He's, 3 weeks ago fought RDR, fought Whittaker, and now he's, I don't know, dude. The timelines line up is all I'm saying. And then we could have had Fluffy Hernandez versus the loser of Imavov versus Baralho, which is, next week? 2 weeks? That timeline would have lined up as well. And then winner of Baralho and Imavov fights Khamzat. And then, I don't know. I don't know why we're having these two prospects fight each other. That said, I do still like this fight. I think this is actually a very, very fun fight to think about because they're both very good grapplers. Fluffy Hernandez, I think, is criminally underrated. A lot of people are picking Roman Dolidze to beat him. That was insane. I saw a lot of people picking Roman Dolidze to beat Anthony Hernandez. He's criminally underrated. I think he's very, very good. He's got amazing grappling, very good jiu-jitsu. I mean, it confuses me. How does this guy beat Brendan Allen and then people go, he's losing to Roman Dolidze? You know what I mean? That doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know. That's so weird. I don't know why. That just doesn't make any sense to me at all. He beats Brendan Allen like Brendan Allen would beat Dolidze, right? That seems like easy, like levels to this game, kid. I don't know. Anyways, I don't know why I'm talking about that. Both of these guys, very, very technical, very good grapplers. RDR, amazing jiu-jitsu player. Double champ over at 1 before he came to UFC. Hernandez, again, very good wrestler, good grappling, choking people out. He's nasty. He's very good. I like him a lot. And they both like throwing hands. They're both amazing grapplers who Anthony Hernandez is very open that he doesn't want to grapple. He wants to box. RDR throws the most insane looking punches you ever seen in your life, and they connect. He's good with his knees as well. He used that knee a lot against Whittaker, and I think it was working for a bit, and he stopped throwing after he got clipped, which is valid. He probably was... Honestly, if I was the referee, I would have stopped the fight when he got clipped. Not, like, immediately, but I feel like some of those follow-up shots could have been stopped. He loves that knee after he finished Bo Nickel with it. I really like this fight. This will be a fun one to watch. And I think I think Dana White confirmed that this is a number 1 contender spot, so the winner of this will go on to fight Khamzat Chimaev, period. Which I love. Because I feel like, low-key, I feel like Fluffy could be the guy to beat Khamzat, but he has to get through RDR first. I don't think RDR beats Khamzat. I think RDR versus DDP is a very good fight, though. Also on the card of UFC Vancouver for October 18th, Kevin Holland's taking on Mike Malott. Kevin Holland got beat up really badly in New Orleans. I'm a big fan of Mike. I mean, I've got Chick-fil-A in Mike Malott's local Chick-fil-A before. Mike Malott's the homie. I've got a buddy who messages Mike Malott all the time. Mike Malott's sick, dude. Good Canadian fighter. Love him. He's getting fucked up badly in this fight, bro. He's getting, like, Kevin Holland is so good. And I know he just lost to D-Rod. But is D-Rod like... I don't know, dude. That was such a weird... I feel like I cursed Kevin Holland. Can I be honest with you guys? I gotta tell you this. And I don't know if it shows up in the broadcast. I don't think that it does. I'll have to look. But in New Orleans, when Kevin Holland was walking out... I'm making this official, by the way. I'm officializing the Pablo curse. When Kevin Holland was walking out, I give him a handshake, and I said to him, D-Rod doesn't know what a 45-70 is. And he turned around, he smiled at me, and he pointed at me. He went, yeah. Got fucked up. Badly. D-Rod knew what a 45-70 was. Now, I have screenshots. Every fighter that has spoken to me, replied to me, Charles Johnson, Joe Anderson, Brito, those are the only two, have lost their next fight. They've lost their next fight after it happened. And then I was in real life, spoke to Kevin Holland, he responded, lost his next fight. The Pablo curse, the official Z-Fixed curse is real. The Z-Fixed curse is real, bro. These guys keep losing. Every fighter I interact with loses their next fight. Even on the walkout, I cursed him. Who would have guessed that Kevin Holland would lose to D-Rod? Got fucked up, dude. Bad. Like, he got hurt bad by just about everything that D-Rod threw. D-Rod must have the heaviest hands in the world. Anyways, he's fighting Mike Malott. Mike Malott, he's all right. Not the best cardio. He got Neil Magni'd really bad once, but I feel like a lot of people get Neil Magni'd. Neil Magny has a crazy win recently, I think, right? Where he Neil Magni'd somebody. I don't know. Not the best cardio on Mike Malott. Coming off a brutal knockout over Charles Radke. Love to see that in person, by the way. That was a dream come true. Charles Radke talking shit to Canada the whole week. Just for my Canadian boy to sleep yo shit, bitch. Fuck you, Charles Radke. Chuck Buffalo. Bow. I saw your wife on Instagram talk about, oh, I'm dating a UFC 319. No, you're not. You're dating a UFC fighter, but not a 319 fighter. Like, giving advice to the wives of UFC 319 fighters. That's honestly a pretty cool video. It was nice to see that there's kind of a community there between the wives of fighters, but fuck you, Chuck Buffalo. Kevin Holland's winning this fight. Easy. Also on the card, a lot of people, I was arguing about this last night in a group chat. Dana White announced Manon Fiorot is going to be taking on Jasmine Jasudavicius. Manon Fiorot was just turned away by Valentina Shevchenko in Montreal. Same card, Jasmine Jasudavicius taps out Jessica Andrade. Jasmine Jasudavicius is very good. She has insane top control. She's nasty on the ground, good ground and pound, good submissions. She's pretty decent on the feet. She's not amazing, which will be, I think, Manon's strength in this fight. Manon is very big. She's very strong, and she's an amazing kickboxer. But I just see, I think it's so easy, gonna be easy for Jasmine Jasudavicius to get her down and just pound her into submission. Ew. I love this fight a lot. I'm a big Jasmine Jasudavicius fan. Jasmine, come on the show. I feel like I can actually get you on the show, Jasmine. I know you're like a top 5 UFC fighter, but you were on some show recently. I saw you post about it on Instagram. Come on the show, Jazz. Love to have you. Also, trains with Mike Malott. Good gym up there, Niagara top team. I love this fight, bro. This is an amazing fight. I don't give a fuck if you hate women's fights. Manon Fiorot puts on bangers from time to time. I mean, her Valentina Shevchenko fight was very good. The fight before that, I think, was Erin Blanchfield. It was not good at all, but I think that's more on the fault of Erin Blanchfield. I hate her. I like Manon Fiorot. She's a badass, bro. I remember, I don't know what fight it was. She had a cut like on the side of her head, and her whole side of her face was red with blood dripping. That was badass shit. That's what makes me like you as a fighter, bro. If you're not shying away from the blood leaking down your head, from being hurt and coming back and fighting like a fucking maniac, that's what makes me a fan of you. I'm a fan of Manon Fiorot, and I'm definitely a fan of Jasmine Jasudavicius. She will be the next Canadian champion, no doubt in my mind. Next, we're going to be breaking down UFC Rio. UFC Rio getting a lot of goddamn fights. October 11th, coming up. This should be fun, dude. Honestly, this card looks good. We're going to start with Davis and Figueiredo taking on Montel Quick Jackson. Hate this fight. I hate this fight. I really cannot stand this fight. I think we might get Jose Delano on this fight as well. He fought at Contender Series last night. Won. Dana White said, oh, UFC Rio's full. We have 16 fights. But I don't fucking care. You're coming to the UFC Rio. So we'll probably get Jose Delano on it. It's a big card, dude. Main evented by Charles Oliveira. This is like a pay-per-view level card. I'm going to be honest with you. Especially a 2025 pay-per-view. I know there's no championship fight, but like the amount of names on it, the amount of fights on it, this is a pay-per-view level card. Davis and Figueiredo taking on Montel Quick Jackson. I don't love this fight. And I don't love this fight because I think that Davis and Figueiredo has kind of been wronged. I think I almost said robbed. I mean wronged. In the bantamweight division, he was a former flyweight champion, multiple-time flyweight champion. Very, very good. Has a win over Alexandre Pantoja, who is the champion right now at that division. But he's kind of getting like the most elite competition. He's getting the best guys in the entire bantamweight division. He's getting a Corey Sandhagen. He's getting Peter Yan. He's getting... Who did he fight before that? I think this fight before that was kind of like a... Nah. Oh, yeah, Cheeto Vera. But he beat Cheeto Vera. He beat Cody Garbrandt. He beat Rob Font. I mean, since coming up to this division, he's 3-2. And his 2 losses are against former champion Peter Yan, who's extremely good. Just beat the shit out of a 35-year-old prospect. And will probably fight for a champion by the end of 2026. And his loss after that was to Corey Sandhagen, who's fighting for the title next. And it kind of got fucked up a little bit by Peter Yan. I can't lie. He lost that fight pretty handily. But the Sandhagen fight was kind of fluky. He got finished in round 1 or 2, but it was kind of fluky. And he dropped Peter Yan, didn't he? Or he got dropped by Peter Yan? I don't remember. It was a long time ago. It was at UFC China in like October. I don't know. I think that was when that was. It was a long time ago. He's kind of active, man. He's pretty active. I like Figgy a lot. He's taking on Montel Quick Jackson, who's very inactive. I think he fought earlier this year. Don't remember who he fought against. Probably knocked him out. He's got heavy hands. Has a 1 second. I think it was actually a decision earlier this year because I remember boasting about this dude's heavy hands, and then it didn't work. Knocked out Damon Blackshear in approximately 11 seconds, I think. Like one-tapped Damon Blackshear. He's got heavy hands. I just think Figueiredo's still an elite contender and very, very good competition. I don't think Montel Quick Jackson is all that. He just has to be more active. That's my biggest gripe with Montel Jackson. Be more active, bro. Why are we fighting 2 times a year when we're getting clean knockouts early? He knocked out Damon Blackshear, and I think Damon Blackshear fought like 3 or 4 times in between the time that took Jackson to get another fight. What are we doing? Now you're 15 ranked in the world, so hopefully you're more active now that you're inside the rankings, but I want to see you more often, Montel Jackson. I don't love your game of being so inactive. He's been on the roster for like fucking years as well. Vitor Petrino at heavyweight taking on Thomas Peterson. That's the only reason I remember that guy's name. I'm going to be honest with you. He's all right, Thomas Peterson. I think he's coming off a win. Petrino, don't fucking remember what he was doing. He might have got chinned, actually. I can't remember. I think he got knocked out. This is a banger. Gervonta Davis versus Mario Pinto. Gervonta Davis just fought Derek Lewis. Derek Lewis turns away so many contenders. It's crazy. Mario Pinto is actually good, though. Coming off a win over Ryan Spann. Maybe flatlined Ryan Spann with a straight left. He's got heavy hands. I like this fight for Pinto. I think he's going to get a knockout. I don't think Gervonta Davis is that good. I don't love heavyweight division, but I like Mario Pinto. In more news, in more fight news, Lucene Kita, I don't know if that's how you say his name. I'm just going with that. Is making his UFC debut on September 6th at UFC Paris. He's taking on Patricio Ferreira. I don't think Patricio Pitbull's all that good. I think he's 1-1 since joining the UFC. Beat Dan Ige, but it was like, it was close, bro. It was close. It was a close fight. Lucene Kieta, not it. I don't know how to say it. He's the Octagon double champion. Octagon being a European, I think it's Czech MMA company. These guys are like, Europe is doing crazy right now in MMA. If you've been watching Guru at all, he talks about KSW and Octagon a lot. They're crushing it, bro. Like, they're not regional. They're not LFA. They're not Cage Warriors. Like, Octagon is legit. KSW is legit. So this Lucini guy is coming over. We'll see how he does. They're putting him up against Pitbull, who got mauled by Yair in his first fight. So we'll see how he does. I'm going to go with Lucini to win this fight. I just don't think that Pitbull's that good. Speaking of Bellator, and also speaking of KSW, Patchy Mix taking on Jakub Vikwash. Vikwash. I think that's how you say it. Jakub Vikwash. I think so. That's how you say it. Don't quote me on it. Patchy Mix sucks, bro. That was such a terrible fight. Someone said in the comments, he's fighting my neighbor. That's hilarious. This Jakub guy, KSW champion, I believe. I just checked his record. Don't remember. Either way, he's pretty good. He has a lot of wins at KSW. And like I said, KSW is a legit organization. They sold out a fucking 80,000 seat arena. That's more than UFC's ever done. So KSW is pretty legit. Patchy Mix is going to get fucked up. That dude has zero head movement. He's so bad. He's so bad. Patchy Mix is awful. I remember a time, I was speaking about this recently. I remember a time when MMA fighting on MSNBC, I think that's what it's called, MMA fighting news organization. They would have their like staff rankings, and every single week, Patchy Mix was the #1 bantamweight in the world. This dude's better than Merab. This dude's better than Sean O'Malley. It was when Sean O'Malley was champ. Guy got bitched by Mario Bautista. Patchy Mix is the best bantamweight in the world. We live in a horrible, horrible world then. I mean, god damn, he's awful. And we're going with Jakub Vikwash. Next, final UFC news. We do have 2 more boxing fights. Rob Font, I don't know if he goes by Robert. Rob Font is taking on El Disgusto. Raul Rosas Jr. Chihuihuis. Hang on, let me hit it. Chihuihuis. I prefer the name El Disgusto. I think it's hilarious. It kills me every time. Look at the guy's fucking face, bro. That's El Disgusto right there. You ask anybody, that's El Disgusto, all right? Everybody knows. Everybody knows El Disgusto, and that's him. He's taking on Rob Font. Rob Font actually is on a tear right now, I believe. Raul is very boring. Raul is my age, and he's got a weird group chat with his friends that he just allows fans to be in. It's very strange. Is weird. I don't know. I don't want to go into further how much I don't like Raul Rosas Jr., but he is a very boring fighter. He's coming off a win over some fucking nobody. I don't know. I don't think he's that good. Rob Font beat John Matsumoto, who I think he's decent. But Rob Font beat him up. Rob Font's very good boxer. I like Rob Font a lot. Stand up. Oh my God, I almost said Peru. Puerto Rico. Stand up Puerto Rico, not Peru. I like Rob Font, and I think I have him to win this fight. I'm going to be honest with you. I think Raul's not that good. I think he's a little bit full of himself, and I'm not going to get into my fucking hate watching of Raul Rosas Jr. We don't have to get into it, but I don't think he's that good. I think this is going to be his first loss. Rob Font by decision probably, but beat him up. Beat him up! Beat him up! Now, before I go into some big big boxing news. We're going to go to some small boxing news. Frankie Edgar is coming out of retirement at 43 years of age and taking on Jimmy Rivera. Both UFC vets. Frankie Edgar, former UFC champ, very good guy. I don't know why he's fighting. Why is Frankie Edgar fighting again? Where's your money, Frankie? You're a UFC champion. What happened to the millions that you made as UFC champion? Like, you were defending as well. You weren't just a one-time. Like, you defended. You're a legend of the UFC. Why are we still fighting? Second on Jimmy Rivera. Don't know who the fuck that guy. I know who Jimmy Rivera is, but like not really. You know what I mean? I know the name. Couldn't tell you a performance. Frankie Edgar's gonna get knocked out. He's 43 years old, bro, and it's bare knuckle. By the way, I don't know if I said that. It's BKFC, which I will be watching because I am a big BKFC guy actually. Recently, October 4th, Newark, New Jersey. Oh, Frankie's hometown, bro. That's sad, actually. Frankie, you just seen what happened in Philadelphia. You just watched Eddie Alvarez get knocked out in Philadelphia. And your immediate thought was, oh, I'm going to sign up for BKFC and fight in New Jersey, in my hometown. What's the worst that'll happen? RIP, bro. Final news. This is a long video. Jake Paul's taking on Gervonta Davis. Now, if you are a boxing fan, you might have gone, what? If you're not a boxing fan, let me explain something to you. Thank you to Tony Has Died for this information. Jake Paul is 6'1" and 220 pounds. Gervonta Davis is 5'5", 135 pounds. And they're going to be fighting each other on Netflix in November 15th. What a fraud, dude. Fuck Jake Paul. He's a fraud. If you enjoyed today's video and you want to see more like it, hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell because I post 2 times a week, all right? I post twice a week and I post more than twice a week. Sometimes. I've not in a while, though. It's been kind of a minute because my last video... Hit that subscribe button. We got that news videos once a week. Prediction videos Friday every single week that there's UFC. We got tier lists from time to time. We got rant videos from time to time. What do you want? We got it. It's MMA related, all of it. Hit that sub button, and I'll see you next time.